Okay, earlier this morning, I recorded a video on the Oval breaking down Victoria's speech at the end of the last episode. This is kind of the follow-up or companion video where I talk about, will Victoria's plan work? Will her overall strategy of shifting the blame to Jason derail the vice president's plan to invoke the 25th Amendment? Now, to be completely honest, as epic as the scene was, and this video isn't to take away from how much I enjoyed Victoria's speech as well as the cutaways to the other characters' reaction to it. I mean, Priscilla even said, "Oh, shut up. They're going to believe all this shit. They're going to eat it right up." I think that Victoria's confession, if you will, there are just a bunch of holes in this theory due to the fact that, there are a bunch of holes in her alibi that I feel could be easily debunked. Like Eli said when Simone was like, "So did we underestimate them? We have the truth." It just depends, because there's the court of public opinion. But given how, we live in the day and age of the Me Too, Time's Up, mental health for Black people, there are just a lot of elements of the real world that are related to this cover up, if you will, of the murders. And this video, I don't feel like I'm going to do it justice by going over every single one of them. I highlighted about 5 different reasons Victoria's plan isn't going to work. But that's the point, though. I mean, if there are things in the video I missed, which I'm pretty sure there are, you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, Jeremy, here's another reason somebody can come through and just disprove what Victoria said. Because as she tells Donald in this episode coming up, she isn't leaving this White House, meaning that she threw her son under the bus to take the blame for the murders and everything in order for her and Hunter not to lose their power. And in another video, I think it was the one where I broke down the synopsis for the command performance, like, I wonder if Curtis is going to call his daughter to give his thoughts on what she did. But I do feel like, first of all, she pretty much, again, confirmed that the vice president was right, that 2 women died here in the White House. One who ran a boutique. Me and my son went to the store one time. My son loved going shopping with me. He became infatuated with her. She came to the White House to deliver some dresses and he attacked her. Then there was another beautiful woman who worked here at the White House. He attacked her too. Both winded up dead. Me and my husband were so busy running the country that we didn't know it was this bad. Like, I knew he needed help, and for that we're sorry. But that doesn't really fill in the gaps of a lot of things that were, I guess you could say, going on in the meantime. Like, for one, the locations of the bodies. Now, Jean died in Jason's room, hidden under the bed, the corpse hidden under the bed. Denise was murdered in Victoria and Hunter's room. Kyle scrambled to get the body together and, dumped it at the boutique. So Denise's corpse, or what was left of it, the pieces, they were found dismembered, or is it maimed, dismembered, whatever the terminology is. Basically, Denise's corpse was found at the boutique, if I'm not mistaken. And then the cover story was 2 Secret Service agents fought over her. Agent Yuma was killed. The other one is in critical condition. Of course, Max is alive. And then with Jean, her body was placed at, I think Jean's body was at her place, or was it at Greg's place? I can't remember. I know that Greg, her on and off again, off again boyfriend, who was apparently possibly abusive. I just knew that based off what Gail said, her and Jean and her boyfriend fought a lot. Apparently, a lot of people in the White House knew about the staff because, sometimes Jean wouldn't come to work because, she's going through something with her boyfriend. And then the cover story was neighboring apartments overheard those 2 arguing, and then there was a gunshot. And then the guy said, "I always love you." Boom, and then shoots himself. Priscilla went over there, found Jean's body, and then next thing you know, she left. Greg came over, saw the body. Well, actually, no. Was it Greg that came home first and then saw the body in his room? And then Priscilla told him to leave, but then he got popped off when he was on the phone. Priscilla came over there and found both bodies there. I believe Kyle was the one that moved the body because he was the one that took the crate with the trunk with the body in there. So even though Victoria shifted the blame to Jason, that doesn't explain how Jason, quote unquote, moved the corpses from the White House to the different apartments. Or, well, Denise's body to the boutique and Jean's body to either her apartment. I know that Jean's apartment was, like torn apart. But like I said, I swear I cannot remember if Jean's body was discovered at her apartment or if it was at Greg's place. I think it was Greg's, because I think when Greg said, hey, I'm going to get off work and go over there right now because Jean hasn't been answering her phone. He gets there, tells Priscilla everything is torn apart. Priscilla says, get out of there. Greg goes over to his place, and then I think the body was on his bed. Next thing you know, his body's placed on the bed too. We don't know who shot him. Then on top of that, so damn, never mind. That's 3 of my 5 things right there. Between Yuma's death, Denise's body, and Jean's body / Greg's body, that's 4 corpses right there that just don't line up. Let's not even talk about the fact that Miss Laura, the housekeeper, she was killed, and she saw Jean under the bed. And then on top of that, you have Denise and Ellie, the press secretary / acting press secretary, both dead. So there are just a lot of things that could be pulled out of the woodworks not even the woodworks. I mean, the news needs to press the first lady like, okay, so you admit to your son killing these 2 women, but what about all the other quote unquote mysterious deaths that have occurred for the White House staff, as well as those who work in the administration, from the press secretary to, some workers that weren't your, your son's victims? What about your mother as well? It's just, wasn't your son and daughter on the same flight as your mother-in-law? Could he have been the one to do it? So I feel like a lot of people could come forward with evidence to prove that, yeah, this is bullshit. They covered up everything. So yeah, you threw Jason under the bus, but what does that mean for the first lady and president? They're the ones that covered it up. Do they get people in the administration to take the blame? Yeah, this butler did this, or this Secret Service agent, they hit the body this way, that way. Then on top of that, Victoria's dad, let's say if he's just fed up, given the fact that he hated Jason anyway for what he did to his wife, he could either send some evidence to the right people to prove the fact that Jason killed his grandmother. Jason did this, Jason did that. And his father didn't do anything in the White House. So Victoria talks about how my husband and I were doing everything we can to run the country. And, Hunter hasn't been to any meetings or anything like that. He only went to one meeting, the one where he's like staring down Ellie the entire time. So it's just one of those things where Tyler Perry's probably going to write it where Victoria's plan works as a way to get through this one obstacle that the vice president provided. But like her father said, once I'm gone, there are going to be a ton of people going for your seats in the White House. So you better get ready, since I'm not going to be there to protect you from them. So I just feel like it's going to be a bit of an ass pull. Tyler Perry, it just depends on how he wrote this. If he wrote this in such a way where we're going to see Victoria's confession bombarded with people who have the right questions, and if Victoria is able to pull a Veronica Harrington, I mean, hell, to be honest, imagine if Veronica Harrington was on the legal team for the president and whatnot. That would be insane. I feel like that would be a way to divert attention, because we know Veronica is like one of the queens of cover-up. Not to mention, she went toe-to-toe with the feds and the haves and the have-nots too, against the quote-unquote terrorist activity when there was the car bombing at David's house. So I think Veronica could pull it off. So with that being said, the next thing is, let me see, I talked about Denise, Yuma, Jean / Greg, Victoria's father, and then overall the cover-up stories. And then, of course, again, Max, Priscilla, Bobby, Lily, and like Sam has Kyle locked up as well, because he's part of this whole thing too, in terms of being a big part of the cover-ups. Duh. So there's a lot going on right now. And I mean, for all we know the vice president has the orders to have Kyle detained. But again, Curtis could have somebody come in and take Kyle out, not to kill him, but to get him out of that cell. But just let me know what you think. Do you think Veronica's plan is overall going to work? Or, like I said before, I mentioned a lot of reasons why her confession just isn't going to go anywhere. Because just like I did the video, somebody asked, do you think Victoria loves her children? And I said, no. You look at Hunter just willing to kind of let Jason get by with this stuff, in the same way Jim was able to do the same thing for Wyatt and the haves and have-nots. Like, Jim, this dude gets high. He gets in, in near-death situations. He's in trouble with the mafia / the mob, the Malones or whatever. There are just so many reasons why Wyatt needs to either be locked up or killed, yet you still constantly save him. When are you going to get him the help he needs? The same thing could be true of Hunter and Jason at this point, but let's talk about it more in the comments section below. As always, make sure you take a moment to hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video. Hit subscribe as we move closer to 200,000 subscribers here on the channel. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description. Hit that bell icon and select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post content on the channel. And if you would like to donate, feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App.